I just realized those times where I can't do that if I'm working back in McDonald's.
If that's what makes you happy, then like, let's do that.
I've been taking this role in onboarding and actually spearheading the training, the development of virtual assistants.
There's so many amazing people in the Philippines that are stuck in that environment and they're kind of not sure how to get out.
How would I want to be remembered as an uncle?
Welcome to 11 Minutes with My Lodi. This is a platform to learn all about the most amazing things, the challenging things, and the ins and outs of being a virtual assistant with Virtual Spotter.
Looking very maganda, boss.
Thanks so much, boss.
I thought it was funny because when I was actually thinking about you earlier this morning, like when I was thinking about my day, I'm like, oh, cool, I get to catch up with Vhen today. And because we spoke last night, I was like, I think Vhen will really appreciate that I gave him a little bit of notice so he can sort of present. I know that you like to always look beautiful, boss. Hair's always good.
That's right, boss.
Yeah. I didn't want to leave it last minute and say, hey, can you jump on a Zoom really quick? I want to record a podcast. And you'd be like, yeah, okay, give me 20 minutes. So thanks so much for jumping on. Like, I had this idea, right, that the 11 minutes with My Lodi was amazing, and I want to actually we want to ramp that style of content back up, but I want to do it underneath our brand of Building Virtual Spotter. So I think it's a really cool opportunity for us to gather our team together and meet and interact, and because like my thought was that like, why have something external of Virtual Spotter when we are all Virtual Spotter? So we might as well just continue to use that platform and just tell the story of each of us. And, you know, we can use some of the reels on social media, and we can, you know, edit and you guys can use it on your own platforms to help you know, tell your story or communicate your roles in the business. Or maybe we don't talk about business at all. We just talk about, you know, whatever. So, it's really, really cool. And I think if I look back on it, like we recorded a few episodes, but it's really interesting looking back now that like how fast a habit can become broken and then, you know, be removed from your life. So it's interesting because the link to that 11 Minutes with My Lodi podcast is like active in my calendar. So I see it every Thursday and it reminds me that it's coming up, but there's no one scheduled to jump on it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to creating a new routine and having this be a part of my week, because it's not too much to ask, right? For me to get to an opportunity to catch up for you guys, I think is really, really cool, and something that I know that I'll look forward to each week. So how's life?
It's good. I'm actually quite busy. I'm getting the hang of the new role, and we've been talking like for almost every day, me and Joms. So we're working very, very closely. I'm supposed to go to Jamel's house, but unfortunately, I think she got sick. So she needed to what do you call this? Take care of herself,
rest,
relax a bit, because I think she's really workaholic. Like me. So that's it. And given the fact that this coming weekends, my nephew will be having his baptism. So and I will be the host. So so
that's amazing. That's amazing. Tell us. I want to talk back about your nephew, but like, tell us about your new role?
Well, my new role is I've been taking this role in onboarding and actually spearheading the training, the development of our virtual assistants. So this is something that I've been doing actually in my previous job, like the training part. So I've been handling the marketing and training of McDonald's here in the Philippines, in one of the branch here in Metro Manila, in Quezon City. And it's really grateful that I come to practice it here in Virtual Spotter. So it started like I've been given a position as a trainer for Mind Body, and then along with that, I saw the potential of training our existing VAs, our existing virtual assistants. And I talked to Joms. Then she gave me the opportunity. And then remember, boss, we when we had our meeting, I presented you the courses, the training courses
Yeah.
that I wanted to implement. And little by little, to be honest, boss, this coming Friday, we have our second batch of leadership training of
Yes.
our TLs, our team leaders. And I'm very honored and grateful that Virtual Spotter had given me back this passion in me to share my knowledge, share my experiences, and be able to be part of the growth of Virtual Spotter.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because it's something that, like, I remember even when when we first met, and like you will host parties at McDonald's, and like I know how much you love like hosting, and since then you've hosted all our events in the Philippines, and like that's a part of who you are, right? And you love that, so it makes all the sense in the world to us that we continue to nurture that, because if that's what makes you happy, then like let's do that, like let's do more of that. And yeah, it's really cool that you've been able to roll that out and make that to be a part of your job and your day as well. Dude, the training modules and things that you put together are incredible, like mind blowing. And even your emails more recently, like as the emails start to come out now, like they're very engaging. And I think as well, it's something that you and I have spoke about, and John's, like we've all spoke about it, right? Is like one of the challenges for, it's not really a challenge so much, but it's something that we need to be really conscious of, is that because we all do work remotely and in isolation for the most part, that we want to try to nurture and encourage like a sense of community. And I think by like, it might seem like an email, or it might seem like a questionnaire, or it might seem like just a leadership chat, but it's a bit more than that, because we're jumping on Zoom calls and yeah, we're creating community. Like I would love to see, and I think that's ultimately what this 30 minutes is about as well. It's just catching up and just talking, because I think that's important sometimes, that people know that other people are thinking of them and that they have somewhere that they can go to talk and someone will listen. Like, yeah, I want to try to give you guys like a voice.
That's actually one of the biggest challenges of being a virtual assistant, boss. And
Yeah.
I to myself actually, I've experienced that when I just starting to do the full-time job here in virtual spotter. When I resigned my full-time work in McDonald's, I started to feel like all of a sudden my world changed. Like I used to talking to a lot of people face to face, and then after that, I do work from home with you guys with with virtual spotter. Like it began to sink in that I'm just by myself, and
Yeah.
like what you've mentioned, boss, making sure that our virtual assistants have someone to talk to catch up. It's really, really helpful, because um, physical physical exhaustion is stressful, but mental exhaustion is also an exhaustful
Yeah.
what do you call this, obstacle that we're
Yeah.
facing as a virtual assistant.
When you left when you left your job, like was that, and become like a full-time virtual assistant, was that something that you anticipated, or even like
No.
did you yeah,
No,
so
boss.
like it was a surprise, like you thought like, I'm going to be able to work from home, it's going to be amazing, I don't have to travel anymore, and I can log on and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I didn't think of that, to be honest, in the first place. And the first time we've met, boss, I actually didn't think that I'm gonna last.
Yeah.
Because I'm a guy who constantly communicates. I'm a guy who constantly talks to people. So I think working virtually is something that for me back then is not suited for my personality. But when I tried, and when I see potential in this setup, when I experience that I don't need to commute long distance, I don't need to spend hours and hours in commuting, riding a tricycle, riding a jeepney here in the Philippines. That's the time when I realized that this is something that could grow. This is something that I can live with, and this is something that's really, really beneficial in my end. Like I get to save my money from transportation. I get to save money from my food allowance instead of like traveling, instead of buying food outside. I just stay here at home and be with my family and still work.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And I still, like, when you refer back to that first time that we met, like, I still remember that super clear, super clear. And like, because that was how long ago was that now? That was it nearly
Like
2 years ago?
more than 2 years, yeah.
Wow. And even like yourself, like you've grown a lot. Like I remember that boy that I was like, you've grown so much in 2 years. Like so much in 2 years. And it's really, really inspiring for me to watch you take ownership of like basically the whole team and roll out these modules and stuff like that. And I remember one of the things, and I know I've spoke to you about this multiple times, but like your willingness to improve and learn was like something that really stood out to me. Like you were reading a lot of the same books that I was reading, and like that was like our first little like connection or like similar values, where I was like, wow, like this young kid is like he has like a willingness to improve, and like it's something that I want to nurture and create a platform that you can thrive on. So that was really cool. But like tell me, like when you were traveling back into work, like what did that look like? Like was it a short trip? Was it a long trip? Like tell me what that was like.
My work in McDonald's is really great, and I had an opportunity to be assigned to a branch or a store near at my place, so that's quite convenient in my end. But with regards to my previous job, like if here in the Philippines you're going to work like on places that would really give you a high compensation, you will travel long distance. You will travel like I remember when I was working in an oil company here in the Philippines, a huge oil company here in the Philippines. I travel like from like around 40 kilometers, and I'm spending like 6 hours back and forth.
Wow, every day.
6 hours from my place going to my workplace, and then going back. So roughly 3 hours, 3 hours. So that will be 6 hours a day, and then I would do like an 8 hour shift plus 1 hour break, and it
Wow.
eats up my time.
Wow. So what time were you leaving home?
4 a.m. back then.
And you're getting home when?
Like I'm 8 p.m., 9
Wow.
9 p.m. around. It
Wow.
depends on the traffic. And the
Yeah, of
traffic here in
course.
the Philippines is crazy.
Yeah, of course. It's incredible, right? And like that was one thing that is like typically one thing that really stood out to me, like especially when we bring in guys in the team that are from like a physical, like when they go to a place of work, when they don't have to do that anymore, they can look at that time like it might be. I think 2 hours is typical. Like 2 hours, like an hour and a half is typical to commute. And like what the interesting part to me is that I think it's the Filipino culture that they're like, hey, like I don't have to spend 4 hours in a gymney now. I can work.
Yes.
Like, and then, so they create or they turn that commute time into like a window of revenue, and that supports their family, and that's really, really cool.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, boss.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for, and that's what Virtual Spotter is actually providing to my fellow men and also myself, and
Yeah.
really, really grateful for that.
Well, I think like when you're talking about gratitude as well, like you said something before, that's like a trigger for me, because you're like, I get to save my travel expense, or I get to do this, or I get to do that. It's like, it's not an entitlement, right? You can identify that, like, it's pretty cool. And, you know, like, it's like, that's one of the beautiful parts of the role.
Yeah, definitely, boss, definitely.
So outside of, there's another thing that I know that you're really passionate about. That's baking and pastries, yeah?
Yeah, to be honest, boss, our schedule meet up with at Jamel's place. We tend to work together, and then after our shift, I prepared some cookies that I'm about to bake at Chom's house. So when we had our schedules fixed, and when I successfully bake it at Jamel's place, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna send it to
Yeah.
you because it's actually chilling in my freezer right now.
Wow. So what do? You create all the cookie dough and then
Yeah.
take it to Joms's and bake it.
Yes,
Wow.
we do
So
it
good.
like a bonding with Hera.
Yeah.
So sort of like an activity as well.
Yeah, she would love that. What flavor?
Chocolate chip with toffee.
With toffee?
Yeah, with toffee. Salted
Uh,
toffee caramel. Yeah.
delicious. What are we doing? That's delicious. You'll have to, but I want some. I think when we go back in June or July, I'd love to try one of them biscuits. We have to organize
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I would love to prepare. Next year, boss, when you had your trip here in the Philippines, I'm gonna bake some goodies for you.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. What where do you reckon we'll have to start sort of, well, we've got a little bit of time, but it'd be cool to start planning that. I think we left it a little bit late last time. It'd be cool to yeah, get some of that sort of scoped out. Did you like the last place that we went?
Um, I think I would prefer like the last years.
Yeah.
I
Was
would
it,
just my personal opinion. The last
yeah,
years,
I actually
but
agree.
this year's is actually much spacious. That's
Yeah.
that's what I noticed. But when it regards to like the staff, the food, the ambiance, I would prefer like the last years.
Yeah, yeah. I think it felt like a more. I think it was just the layout of the room, but it just felt a little bit more welcoming and relaxing. Like you had a little place to, like, if you wanted to split off into a little group and talk, you could do that.
Yeah, yeah,
The other one that we were at more recently, it was a little bit more open. It was good. The view was great, but yeah, the other one was really, really cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So outside of that, you've got a new little nephew now. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have the same birthday, boss, May 17th.
So cool. So cool. That's so cool. So, has your life changed since, like, he's sort of been in your life? Because I know that you're a very proud uncle.
Yes, yes. So much, boss. Like, first, my brother's life has changed because he has his own son, right?
Is he older or younger?
Older brother. Yeah, my older brother. The one who owns the car that I used
Yeah.
to fetch you guys.
Yeah.
He's the one. So his life changed. I noticed like when he had he's actually having his vacation right now here in the Philippines, and I noticed his growth, his maturity, his being more responsible right now. And as a younger brother, like I'm very proud of my older brother, and noticing that my life too has changed because I I ask myself, like, how would I want to be remembered as an uncle?
Yeah.
Specific traits I would like to contribute in the growth of my nephew. And one thing is for sure that I am convinced is same goes with virtual spotter. I wanted to be recognized as an uncle that can share knowledge, can share experience. Like
Yeah.
a treasure for me. I wanted to encapsulate my experience, my knowledge, and little by little share it to my nephew. And I can't wait for my nephew to grow, like to be able to talk.
Yeah.
learn to crawl, to walk, and he's just roughly 6 months right now, and I can't wait to grow.
Yeah.
I can't wait for him to grow and be able to share these experiences that I'm really having. And also, I just it's one thing that I'm also been grateful for is because during the time that my brother's wife, my ate, my sister-in-law, is carrying my nephew, being working with virtual spotter had really helped me a lot because flexibility, boss. Like, I
Yeah.
still remember that my younger brother and I would team up, like, let's fetch ate in the hospital during her checkup, and then my brother would drive, and I would be sitting at the back of the car doing some work. And
Yeah.
when the time my brother is having his own meeting, we would exchange position.
Yeah. It's
We're
so cool.
literally working at the car.
I love that. It's
Yeah,
the best, right?
and at the same time, we're doing our errands. We're fetching our ate. We're
Yeah.
also working. We're eating. We're like, we can work anywhere because my
Yeah.
brother is also working from home. He's an
Yeah.
IT, so, and I'm also working from home here in Virtual Spotter. So I just realized those times where, like, I can't do that if I'm working back in McDonald's or
Yeah.
working an 8-hour shift in a corporate setup.
And it takes a special, like, not anyone can do that, right? Because there's a lot of people that, but I mean physically, like, not many people have the accountability to be able to, still complete their tasks to a high standard and run around and do the other things, if need be. So it's like, I think it's like looked at as like one of the amazing things of being a virtual assistant. But it's like some people, if other people tried to do that, then their tasks would fall over.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool, like not having to turn up to the same place of work and have like your supervisor look over you, or like, hey, where are you up to with this? Or, hey, you had 5 minutes too long for lunch. Like, you need to stay back 5 minutes, or you need to start early. Is like, that's an exhausting environment. And I think that in 2023, that it's really cool that there's other options outside of that, because there's so many amazing people around the world, but in the Philippines as well, that are stuck in like that environment, and they're kind of not sure how to get out. So yeah, it's cool. Like, and that's actually what I like about this as well. Like, they can hear this story and and apply it to their own life in some capacity. Like, I wonder if I could do that. And especially for mums, like, I love that we can create opportunities for everyone, but like specifically for mums as well. That they can stay at home and care for their children and work. Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's so cool. Like, that as a father, like, I think that to have a mother at home is extremely important for the children. And yeah, it's really cool that we're able to do that.
Yep. I really commend those virtual assistants of ours, like Joms, Mami
Yeah.
Joy, Ral, Joyce.
Yes.
So they are really, really something. Like, for me, I don't have a son, a child, but for them, mom's at home and they're still working at home at the same time. Like, it's crazy. Like, I can't even imagine myself, someone's running around while I'm working.
Yeah. I don't have to imagine it. I can explain exactly what it's like if you want. It's challenging.
It's challenging.
Yeah,
Boss.
yeah. And when you said as well, it's like your nephew is like, you can't wait for him to talk. It's like the moment that he talks is like question after question after question, and like as they learn, it's like, like sometimes like, there's all these milestones. I think in like parenthood or like families, like we always, and like it can be a trap sometimes, right? Like, we always are looking forward to the next thing. But also too, there's so much beauty in them right now when they can't stand up, they can't roll, or they can just roll over. It's like,
Yeah.
like that window is like so small and then gone forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
But
once they started to talk, to walk, like, they they're not going back to the moment that they just keeping on grabbing like sort of things like learning to stand or crawl, like those precious moments were I'm actually experiencing right now, boss, that I'm treasuring those moments, those little moments that when it passed by, it can't be we can't go back to
Yeah.
time from the moment that they're just still learning to crawl and stand and walk.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. It's been amazing to see you again, and
Me
yeah,
too, boss.
I'm very excited that we could have jumped on a call and recorded this, and we'll shoot it all out to our platforms and continue to tell the story of our amazing virtual assistants in Virtual Spotter. So I appreciate you very much, boss. You have a wonderful day, and we'll talk really soon.
You too, boss. Have a good
Salamat.
day.
Bye. Boss Vhen. The dude is an absolute star. Absolute star.